Hey everyone, I'm Zach, and I want to start off by saying this. Everyone should find a job that they love, and then once they find it, that they should keep doing it. Until recently, I've had no clue as to what I wanted to do with my life. One day I was in class at high school, and I learned about being an architect, and I thought to myself, hey, I like building things, and this just might be for me. So after I did a little bit of research, I just came to the conclusion that being an architect is the career that I wanted to pursue. So throughout the speech, I'll be describing what it is that I'll actually be doing and further explain why I want to pursue this. To be an architect, I'll have to do a good bit of school, and I'll have to get an engineering degree. The majority of the work that I'll be doing will be on a computer, so I'll need to know how to use programs like AutoCAD and CAD, which I'm somewhat familiar with it right now. There isn't a physical, like, there's not a physical requirement for this job, meaning I don't have to lift much. Unless I go out into the field and actually help with the literal building of the buildings. Um, I will most likely have to use some communication skills just because some bigger projects are going to involve more than one person, and I'll just have to be able to communicate because no one's going to want to be inside of a building that was built by people who didn't talk to each other. I did some research about what an architect actually does, and their average day of work, everything that I read sounded great. One of my favorite things about becoming an architect will be that I get to work from home, actually. I would absolutely love doing this. I know someone who isn't an architect but uses the same software and programs that architects use, and he literally has his own lab in a building, and it's like so cool. Um, as part of a project, I imagine an architect would have to survey the area in which the structure is to be built to get an idea of what they can do. After that, they get back to their desk and they start designing the small parts at a time, piecing them together like a big puzzle until there's a finished project. Uh, a bad thing about this job would be being stuck behind a computer screen for extended periods of time, but I think that I wouldn't mind it too much, but I mean, we'll see. I'll deal with it. Despite all this, though, I may need to move in order to be an architect. The area that I live in is pretty small, and there's just not a high need for architects right now. Fortunately, I don't live very far away from big cities, so commuting would be a pretty easy thing, and probably what I'll end up doing. But I wouldn't be opposed to moving away to a bigger city where the chance of employment is higher. Overall, being an architect is what I want to do because it allows me to hold on to some of my core values. I've always enjoyed building and designing things, and becoming an architect would allow me to continue doing this. Architects are able to work from home and play on a computer all day. Like, how does that not sound fun? I may have to move in order to fulfill this goal, but becoming an architect is something that I really want, and moving would only be a small price for being happy. Thank you.